And here is tonight's starter for DME HS National.
Can anyone hear me on this? Mine's not. Mike?
Yep.
Okay. Can we hear anything up top?
No.
Okay.
Good evening here at DME Sports Academy. I'm Michael Panaggio, and here calling the game with Sean Henry. We got a SIAA showdown here between two of the top teams in the North Division. DME Sports Academy at home, winning 4 of their last 5 games so far since Christmas break against the 8-4 The Rock School, who's actually undefeated in SIAA play so far, Sean. And DME comes out with the same starting lineup as usual, starting Mayum, who came back this year mid-semester, or second semester, and has given his team a boost. Both on the energy side, toughness side, and defensive side.
Absolutely. His defense and his energy is contagious.
First shot up is no good by the Rock, and Harvey plays pick and roll with Majao Niang. He'll shoot a 3, and it's no good. Rebound to Charlton. Antrell Charlton.
Oh, it's a nice jumper right there. Nice pull-up.
And
he's going to be a tough matchup for DeAndre because he's such just a physically bigger player than DeAndre.
Brian Greenlee with the nice pull-up jumper. His first basket of the game, and 2-0 The Rock early on. The Rock.
Oh,
yeah,
good look.
Good look. DME's going to have to, seems like they're going to have to handle this little pressure that The Rock is throwing at him, a little trap, half-court trap.
Mike, what do you see as the key to the game for DME tonight?
Well, you know, I think they got the size advantage. I'd like to see them go inside and also handle this pressure. They don't seem to have, you know, as you see right there, DME doesn't even get a shot off. The defensive intensity of The Rock is going to give them trouble, especially because DeAndre Harvey's the only true point guard on the roster for DME.
That was a shot clock violation. DeAndre wasn't quite aware of the situation on that one.
Charlton banks it in. Off 2 feet, the little floater, his first basket of the game.
He's got a 1-2-2.
Yeah, and a 1-2-2 press set up by The Rock. And Mayum's pass is stolen by Charlton, and he goes in and he can't finish on the break. And DME dodges a bullet here with 16:21 left, up 4, or down 4 only. And I don't even think they've got 1 shot off so far.
Yeah. Looks like just the passes need to be a little bit crisper. And he's getting stuck right in the corner where they want him.
Mayum's pass almost stolen, and he gets it back and finds Asan Diouf, and he emphatically finishes it with 2 hands. And DME catches another break.
Yes, big break. Great rebound, great box out by Asan. DeAndre pushing it up. He's got great handles. Great penetration by Mayum.
And DME ties the game back up at 4. Racing the other way is number 5, Jaden Campbell, and he draws the foul.
That was first foul on Majau.
And he'll go to the line and shoot 2.
So DME was able to weather that storm, a quick 4 points, and they looked completely out of sorts, but had a couple good breaks and a couple balls bounce their way.
Yeah, and you know, it's, you know, the Rock handled them last year both times they played and was the top team in the North Division last year, and they've lost a good amount of players, but the talent level is still there. And
absolutely.
Good guard play and young bigs, and they still get after you. Coach Hart,
another great pass by Mayum. Hassan's just eating up down low.
Well, if you're going to press, you should punish them with layups.
Absolutely. Looks like the Rock is settling for a lot of jump shots.
Jaden Campbell for 3.
We got a 3-2 trap going here.
The Rock back up 9-6. Clinette gets away with the travel. And
then almost threw it away. Be patient. Rock's got a lot of pressure, a lot of very active hands.
They go man here. And Mayum goes inside in Niang, and he shoots a turnaround jumper in the post, and it's no good. Rebound to McCrave. And into the front court, they go to a dribble weave.
Oh, great steal by Mayum.
A deflection by Mayum. And
timeout by DME.
Dan Mondrak uses his first timeout. And for people wondering, all our live streams are now on YouTube for home games, and that's different because we've been doing on the Facebook Live and also been doing it on the link on the DME Sports Academy website. Now you can find it on our YouTube page. The Rock shows a 1-2-2 press, full extended this time, and Mayum with the beautiful left-hand finish.
That just shows his athleticism. He is so bouncy. He's really gives them a whole nother dimension.
Wide open shot missed by Charlton, and Majau Niang collects his second rebound of the game, and a beautiful pass by Mayum inside to Hassan Diouf. And Diouf with a strong start, and Mayum, as they've combined for all 10 of DME's points here in the early going.
Hassan is very active tonight. Really, that was a great screen and roll, and Mayum made a great pass.
High arcing free throw by Diouf is no good, and the rebound to the freshman, Levin Kidd. And a beautiful play on the backdoor lob by the Rock, and Dan Mondrak isn't too happy about that. Turnover by Clinette, and racing the other way is Greenlee. He'll pull it out. And a baseline drive. And jumper finds Greenlee, and he hits a 3. He's got 5. And a quick 5-0 run the other way by the Rock.
The interesting about that dunk was Coach Mondragon saw that dunk, or saw that backdoor screen way before the actual play had developed, but they weren't able to react to it quick enough.
10 on the shot clock here, and DME gets into their offense a little late. And they go to a little lob play for Diolf, and he misses but is fouled by Greenlee.
Great execution on that. Great execution. Great
Good.
back screen by DeAndre. And great pass by Majau.
Got into it a little late, but it turned out to be pretty good. And Diolf takes his second trip to the free throw line here early on. And this one's first one was banged off the backboard, and this one is nothing but net. And Keanu Calderon will be checking in for Diolf. And number 12 for the Rock, Rosa Budko, checks in, the sophomore big. So Coach Harden has two bigs, both young. One's a freshman, one's a sophomore, lanky, still have to put weight on. I'd like to see how much they go inside the Diolf here in the game. Keanu Calderon checks in the game for DME and also for the Rock.
Great rebound by DeAndre Harvey. Great tip out by Keanu.
Lee checks in for the Rock. I don't have his first name.
Great pull-up by Vadim Planette. Really confident. Great looking shot.
And he's probably the best outside shooter that Coach Dan Mondragon's had, as Charleston hits a one-legged step back to put the Rock back up. But, you know, Vadim's the leading scorer returning from last year's team that didn't see much success. He came off of a knee surgery and had a slow start to the year, so he's kind of played his way into shape. And Coach Mondragon has liked how he's played of late.
His intensity and his work ethic has really picked up these last couple weeks, and he's really been playing well. A whole new confidence to Vadim.
Lee, who just checked in, wish I had a first name for you, but he checks in and draws the foul. Team's second foul, and that foul was on Mayum, I believe. Did not see who it was called on, though, to be honest with you. First one up by Lee is good. And number 4, Marcus Gomez, will check in for Charlton and McCrav, and someone else checked in. Number 5, Campbell. Jaden Campbell checked back in the game. 17-14 early on.
Trapping in the corners.
The Rock's making this a hectic game. Mayum with his 5th and 6th points of the game with a beautiful drive and take it to the rim. 17-16. The Rock up 1.
The great thing is about Mayum's athleticism that he really picks up the energy level for the team. Everyone's hyped up now. He's made a couple great moves and basically nullified all the pressure that the Rock is putting on him.
A beautiful rebound and outlet by Mayum, and he found Calderon, and Calderon's reverse layup is no good. And tie up on the ground was Majau Niang and Rosa Budko, and the jump ball possession goes to the Rock. Number 15, Capiti, checks into the game. Another big for the Rock. As Coach Harden doesn't really play two bigs at the same time.
Hassan has come back in for Majau. He's taking a seat.
Pull up by Campbell's no good. Rebound to Harvey.
Great rebound.
We'll throw the ball ahead to Quinnett, who thought about a 3 and decided otherwise. Harvey's really still learning this position, as we've been talking about, but you know, he's got the tools to be a very good point guard. It's Greenlee, who is a very good point guard on the other end, has 7 points and early on, and that was a beautiful take coast to coast by him.
His all-around game is really, really good. He's very skilled offensively. His defensive pressure and intensity is kind of what is the engine that leads this team.
The three by Harvey's no good, and a rebound by Lee, and Coach Harden calls a timeout here with 10:07 left, and with his team up 3 here so far early on, about midway through the first half. Sean, what do you see early on here on both sides?
I think the Rock has got great intensity, great pressure, very active hands, and I think DME is just still kind of getting used to that, but I think they've handled it well. I think Mayum's ability to break that pressure by himself and his athleticism, get to the basket and make easy buckets, is going to nullify a lot of their strengths. And on the Rock side, I think on offense, they're a great shooting team. Greenlee has led them, and he's a great leader, and they all just kind of fall in line behind him.
Greenlee's very talented, and he'll take a seat. And I'm interested to see as Charlton comes back in the game, what's going to go on here as he takes out to see if there's a drop-off. David Ofori from Canada, who was on the team last year, tore his ACL this year in the offseason, is just returned to action and makes his home debut for DME this season. Shot by Charlton, no good, and the rebound by Diouf. He finds Mayum, and Mayum's fouled by Jaden Campbell. And it looked like he was shook up there, but it seems like he's okay.
It looked like a knee to the back of the head almost, but he seems to be fine. Looks like DME was looked like they went to a 2-3 zone with DeAndre out.
Before he's going to run the backup one, and he's a very pesky defender, a good secondary ball handler, which is kind of what Keanu Calderon and Mayum both are. But DME really doesn't have many primary ball handlers on their team, but shot no good by Gomez, and he gets his own rebound.
Great rebound by David. The one thing that the Rock was able to get an additional shot on another turnover here.
Blocked by Diouf inside, and racing the other way is Calderon, who tries to finish at the rim and can't. Maybe should have gave that one up. And silly foul 80 feet from the basket by DME, and that's their 4th team foul. And in checks Trev McCrav, and Greenlee comes in after a quick breather. Vadim Clinette checks out, and Majao Niang checks back in.
I like that play by Hassan. It was a great dish off. Unfortunately, David got stuck in the middle and wasn't able to complete the play.
DME goes to a 2-3 zone here, and the tough pull-up jumper on the baseline by McCrav is good over the 7-foot Diouf. And this is the biggest lead for either team so far here early on in the first half, 21-16 the Rock.
I like DME's plan here to try to push the ball inside, use Hassan's Diouf's size, and not settling for the jump shots, which sometimes they tend to do. They tend to fall in love with the three-pointer.
Good defense here by Greenlee, and he picks up a foul with 3 seconds on the shot clock. Tough call there.
Yeah, big bailout by the ref, and Mayum got a lucky one there.
Reset to 20, and DME goes to their side out of bounds, and Ofori turns it over, and racing the other way is McCrav. The ball finds Greenlee's hands with Majao Niang on him. He'll find the freshman kid, And his baseline jumper's no good, and the ball goes out of bounds, and possession will go to DME as DeAndre Harvey checks back into the game for David Ofori, and Marko Vujokovic checks in for the first time today.
And that was great defense by Majau to put, oh, actually, they've overturned that call. It's actually the Rock's ball.
Tough break there.
Yeah, that was a tough break.
And DME goes back man.
I really am impressed by the Rock's three-man weave at the top. It's super crisp, super fast, super hard, and DME's having a hard time figuring out how to handle that and how they want to attack that.
McCrabb with the three off the beautiful flare screen, and he's got his own 5-0 run by himself, and the lead is up to 8. Here, 24-16 with 7:05 left. Neither team in the bonus, neither team in foul trouble. Been a pretty clean game so far here. Niang shoots over the smaller Charlton, and Niang's 0 for 3 or 0 for 4 to start the game, and has been very quiet.
I do like his aggressiveness. I think that was it may have been a little bit of a forced shot, but I think he's just trying to get himself going, and it was a good shot. It just didn't make it.
He's had good looks. Just seems to have rushed it a little bit.
A little bit, yeah, absolutely.
But good looks. Diop picked up the over-the-back call there. And Niang, who had a really good tournament against up in Tallahassee, where DME won the tournament at McClay High School, ran by Gene Granger, former DME employee, and Niang was actually the MVP of the
Great
tournament.
pass by Keanu. Way to look inside, and again, DME seems to be making a concerted effort to not settle for the three-point shot. As a matter of fact, I don't think they've shot a single three-pointer yet.
They've shot one
Okay.
with Harvey at the top of the key, and he barely missed it.
My fault, big call.
But yeah, you're right about that. And they go back inside to Diop, who shoots a turnaround jumper, and it's short. Rebound Greenlee.
You know, it's always tough being 7'1", and everyone thinks, oh, everything you shoot should be going towards the basket, and that was a little bit of a tough shot. It was almost like Dirk, and that's not necessarily his best shot.
Yeah, that's the nicest thing to say, and quickly he was subbed out afterwards. And DME goes small ball with Clinette checking back in the game.
I do really like the way Asana's been playing, though. I think his energy, his activity on both ends of the floor has been fantastic.
There's another deflection by the Rock, and off to the races they go with Gomez kicking to McCrave. He up fakes and has a beautiful pass to Kidd, who finishes at the rim, his first basket of the game. And the lead is back to 8, 26-18 here.
DME seems to be getting stuck on the fact that they still have not learned that how active these hands are for the Rock and how great their help defense is.
Clinette's three off inside out is no good. And the rebound to Kidd. The ball gets into Greenlee's hands. He kicks it out to McCrabb, who will try another three. It's no good. And Niang with the board, his second defensive rebound here in the past few possessions, as he's picked up his aggressiveness.
Some great ball movement by DME. And the bucket.
Continuation there.
Wow.
And Vujokovic with the beautiful take and the finish with the inside hand. And a much-needed basket for DME as they cut into the lead, 26-20, and Vujokovic takes his first trip to the line.
And Mike, how many turnovers do you think they've had so far with these deflections and to only be down 6 is pretty lucky.
Well, no, a quiet start for DeAndre Harvey, a quiet start for Majau Niang. Clinette's only got 2, so I think there's a lot of positives so far for DME, even though, like you said, they're probably close to around 10 turnovers as well. Greenlee's a very good basketball player.
He just attacks straight downhill as fast as he can, and DME is not ready for that. So he's got great speed, great hesitation as well.
Strong kid. I'm interested to see who's all recruiting him.
Absolutely. I'm sure that list is long. He's got a great body. He seems to be, he's like I said, just a great leader.
Vujokovic.
That could have been a huge blunder.
Yeah, I mean.
But he was able to steady himself and make the pass.
Well, if someone's ahead of you, you always throw the ball ahead.
Absolutely.
It seemed like he didn't want to do it.
No.
Till he lost it, and then he said, all right, maybe I should.
That's 3 rebounds for DeAndre and a great left-handed pass up.
Good ball movement here this time by DME, and they get a 6-0 run here and cut the lead to 2.
That was a great pass that time by Marco to Mayum, who was able to finish with another acrobatic layup.
Mayum with 10 points here, the first DME player in double figures. And the ball goes out of bounds, and Dan Mondragon didn't like the call, but it will stay here with the Rock School. 3:39 left.
Okay, she's been overruled, and now it's white ball. So I guess Dragon was right.
Well, if I know that, I'll start doing that, and I'll start lobbying a little more. Chastity Renee with the overturn, the former Bethune-Cookman basketball player.
And I tell you what's great about these refs is that we haven't said anything about them, which means they're doing a great job.
Well, we said one thing, Sean. We said there was a bailout.
Yeah. But they're working together, which is nice.
Yes, for sure. No, this is a good crew.
Yes.
You know, and this guy right here actually teed me up one time. The only male ref teed me up when I was playing in a pro-am. He doesn't take much lip.
Grief.
Yeah,
okay.
Lets you know that. But shot by Greenlee, no good. Rebound by Campbell, and he gets fouled trying to get a putback. And now DME is in the Rock is in the 1-and-1 from here on out. And Campbell's first free throw is up and no good. Ofori checks in for Vujokovic. And Dan Mondragon goes here with about as small of a lineup as you would assume he'd ever play.
Absolutely.
With
this
4
is a really
guards
small lineup.
and Vadim Clinette at your 5.
And
Which lets you know that he's not really threatened by the Rock's young bigs.
That was a great look-off pass to Mayum from Vadim Clinette. So far, Vadim seems to be playing an overall great game. Missed a couple shots, but he's not letting that affect him, which in the past it has. And so I like the growth and his attitude so far this year has been fantastic.
Uzubuko can't corral the rebound, and off and running is DME once again. And Mayum with the layup. And we have a tie ball game here as DME's on an 8-0 run.
That's probably about the 4th leak out that DME is being able to pull off and get open layups, easy open layups.
Rosabuco called for the illegal screen. Pretty good acting job by Mayum. And both teams now in the bonus with 2:17 left. And Capiti checks back in for the Rock as Coach Harden seems to rotate his 3 bigs. None of them play a ton of minutes. They just all seem to play and rotate and kind of sees who's going to give them the most.
Absolutely, and I think as you said earlier, they're pretty young, so having multiple bigs out there doesn't seem to be their strongest lineup.
Calderon's 3, no good. It hits the top of the backboard, and he's 0 for 3 here in the first half. The sophomore from Orlando, Florida.
So there's a little confusion from the DME side. Seems like that play was kind of broken from the get-go. There was no real fluid motion to that like there has been throughout this whole game. But looks like they're in a 2-3. Or no, they're playing a man. I'm sorry.
Greenlee being guarded by Harvey. Campbell and Capiti play side pick and roll, and they reverse the ball over to Chantrell with Mayum guard him. He goes to that floater off 2 feet, and it's no good. Outlet to Harvey, and he'll push the break. He'll think about attacking, and he'll direct traffic up here as we approach 1 minute left in the first half. Harvey and Clinette play pick and pop, and a beautiful stop and pop from about 8 feet from Clinette. And DME's first lead here in a long time, and they go on a 10-0 run.
Great defense by Mayum.
Offensive foul on number 11, Lee, as Ofori steps in and takes a beautiful charge. And with 1:01 left, Diouf checks back in, Kidd checks back in, the two starting bigs. And DME on a 10-0 run, and it's been a long time since the Rock has scored here.
I think DME has finally settled down and kind of understand the pace of what this game is going at. And their defense is picked up, the bench is into it, which we don't normally see from DME, to be honest. But their defense, or their bench has really been into it, and they're up and clapping and cheering their teammates on, which is always good to see.
Two-for-one opportunity might be lost here by DME if they don't go quickly. Mayum drives baseline, kicks it out to Harvey. He shoots a pull-up, and it's good. His first basket of the game. And a 12-0 run here with 28 seconds left, and the Rock will hold for one shot.
That was a great pull-up by DeAndre. He's been working on that. And that's probably what he's best known for, is just his ability to stop on a dime and explode up.
They don't hold for one shot.
That was a great block by
Good
Hassan.
block. 2 blocks by Diouf as he's got 3 on the game, and DME runs back the other way. Harvey gets called for a travel. That was great hustle there by Campbell to stop there. And I don't understand why the Rock didn't hold for one shot there. I think that's a mistake by Greenlee as he went way too early on the high pick and roll.
I'd agree with you, and Hassan was a big presence down there. Hassan's being very smart tonight, staying on his feet, putting his hands up, and playing great defense. That's 2 straight blocks on that play. That was fantastic.
First half is done as DME finishes on a 12-0 run to finish the half. Up 4, 30-26, led by Mayum and Hassan Diouf here in the first half, as Mayum and Diouf combined for 18 of the 30 points. I'm sorry, 19 of the 30 points.
I think the big difference.
20 of the 30 points. Is Diouf made 2 out of 3 free throws. And DME seems to have settled in here as we finish the half on a strong note.
Absolutely. I think the big difference there was Mayum. His energy since he's been back has just been contagious. His ability to break down an offense if there's a double coming, his ability with his speed and quickness, and his just absolute crazy jumping abilities just makes it so much easier for everybody else, which is a great tool to have.
I think that the style of play that the Rock plays at and plays with is disruptive, but I do believe that the size in this matchup is actually pretty favorable to DME.
Absolutely.
I think the Rock, who's 8-4, not as good as they were last year, not as talented, not as big as they were last year.
Right, but they were crazy good last year.
They were loaded last year.
Super loaded.
And we're actually in the top 10 in the country at one point. Not the same team this year, even though they're 2-0 in the North. And on top of that division, I believe that this is a team that DME is able to match up with physically, but also on the perimeter with, even though Greenlee is a handful. He was very quiet after a quick start.
Absolutely. He's still he's going to be a very tough guard for them in the second half. He can pull up on a dime. He can drive it hard. His body, he's just a lot bigger than the DME guards. And he's a great player because he seems to be under control, which is great.
He is. And you know, Coach Harden's been at the Rock for some years now. 2-2 on the road only this year. So interested to see how they respond to a slow and a pretty quiet first half where they've only scored 26 points. Dan Mondragon has to be pretty happy with his ball club so far.
Absolutely. I think it seems to be the DME is taking their time with sometimes they're bringing it up slow, but it looks like on the misses they're trying to get up fast and get up the court and trying to match that speed with the Rock and get them kind of on their heels. Probably 4 or 5 times DME guards were able to leak out and almost have open layups, although uncontested layups. So they're getting the ball and outletting it quickly and allows them to get a couple easy baskets, which is always nice to have because sometimes you get into the half court and things get bogged down and there's just nowhere to move with the ball. So, of course, the more open the field, the better for both teams.
Absolutely. And you look at Vujokovic, who's got 2 points and 2 assists off the bench. We haven't seen Nate Adcox here in the first half. Niang only has 2. DeAndre only has 2. Vadim has 4.
Yeah, Vadim was a great difference maker for DME as well. Vadim is not known for his defense, but over these last couple games that we've been watching since the break, he's been fantastic. He's been moving his feet. He's been rebounding, which he is not normally apt to do. I think a lot of that is, he's really put the work in. Malcolm Bernard has been working with Vadim constantly and has done a great job and instilled a lot of confidence in Vadim. And now that Vadim's knees are better, I think he's feeling a lot better as well.
Well, nothing that your boy can't do over there across the street, right? That's
True.
Your guy.
Absolutely.
Can't say his name here. I might get in trouble, but Clinette, I agree. He's been a more balanced player. I think early on he was, adjusting to not being the primary scoring option was an adjustment for him. A whole new team, being part of a losing culture and trying to change that this year. I think he's grown up in front of our eyes and has been a very good basketball player. And obviously he's starting again for Coach Dan Mondragon. And the team's played very well since the new year, winning a tournament, winning at home against Inspire in the conference last Tuesday. They lost a tough one at home to Florida Prep in a close game where they just couldn't get over the hump. But
yeah, and they absolutely had their chances. Definitely a winnable game for them.
But, right around 500 on the year. I think they're one game below at 11-10 or 11-12 or 10-11. A win here, but in the conference, they're 2-1 with wins over ACD and Inspire. Lost to Potter's House on the road, but they've also beat Downey Christian, who's in the conference, but it wasn't technically a conference game. Victory Rock, they struggled against them, but who doesn't struggle against them? So not bad, considering where this program was last year. Definitely has taken a step in the right direction. And, losing Calvin Freeman mid-season, that hurts, on a morale side.
And I will say that with DME, their record probably doesn't show how they've really been playing because they've had probably one of the toughest schedules that you could probably put together. Nick Loris was able to put together a top-notch schedule that any kid in the country would want to play, playing against Woodstock and Putnam Science, Victory Rock, and Prolific Prep. I mean, just an unbelievable schedule. And
even the teams that top 25 team, University School,
Tilton.
You look at they also played. You got to put in Gulliver Prep with that backcourt, which was, I heard, a phenomenal game to watch. Jamal Mashburn Jr. had 40 or more against DME, and it went overtime. So it not having Mayum hurts. Mayum is a huge addition to this team. He's been great in transition. He gets some easy baskets, like you said, and that's stuff that every team needs. If you're not getting easy baskets and layups, you're going to struggle. And this 12-0 run was mostly easy baskets.
Absolutely.
Getting out in transition. And I think Coach Harden's got to be in his locker room emphasizing get back on defense. I know he plays a very aggressive defensive style with the trapping and pressing, and you naturally give up layups and dunks when you play that type of style. However, You know, you got on misses, you got to get back.
Absolutely. And it'll be interesting to see today, in the second half here, how DME reacts in this second half. Was able to weather and basically weather the quick hands and the intensity that the Rock came out with, and basically, to be honest, they weren't really ready for that intensity and for those quick hands and the active bodies. But being able to stay in it with a couple lucky bounces and a couple lucky, and not a couple lucky shots, but some easy shots, allow them to stay in it and realize that they're good enough to play with the Rock or anyone in the country.
Well, it's hard to simulate that style when you don't play that style at practice and you don't have the same type of personnel. You know, DeAndre's speedy, Mayum's speedy, but other than that, those are your only two real quick guards.
Exactly.
You know, and usually those are going to be the ones that having to deal with the press, so they're not going to be the ones doing the pressing in practice. So it's hard to simulate when you got different personnel on your roster. And I think the first 4 or 5 minutes, they were trying to adjust to it. And you can't really simulate it.
No, exactly. And that's why I think, you know, the number of turnovers at the beginning of the half, they had to have at least 10 turnovers is my guess. But we're able to calm down and kind of get in their groove and take care of the ball a little bit better. I think Hassan played a fantastic first half, gave them everything that they needed. And if he can continue to do that in the second half, I think the Rock's going to be in some trouble. We have a great crowd tonight. It's actually probably the biggest crowd we've had all year so far, which is always nice to see.
I'm excited to see the crowd for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, let's preview that one, Mike. What are your thoughts on the DME national team playing against the team tomorrow from IMG, the national team, including Anthony Simmons and the rest of that crew?
Well, I think that's going to be a very exciting game. Bragging rights in the state of Florida. Simmons and J.J. Smith get a lot of the attention, but I'm interested to see how Cameron Winter approaches that game. I know he's got a chip on his shoulder. You know, he's under the radar, but everyone, including myself, has kind of been driving that bandwagon since early on in the year, and he's got a matchup with a first-round draft pick tomorrow. I'm excited to see that matchup more than anything. Is how good is Cameron Winter? Is he a high major basketball prospect? I think he punches his ticket tomorrow, or he says, you know what? He looks in the mirror and says, I got work to do. And that's what I'm most excited. You know, I love the kid. I love how he plays. I think it's going to be a good competitive matchup. But I do believe that Cameron Winter is a very good basketball player, and he's going to make people know who he is after tomorrow.
So we started off the second half just like we did the first with a lazy pass that was picked off by the Rock. DeAndre's got including last game, his passes have been very lazy. Need a little more crispness on it. As the great Dan Panaggio once said, that ball has too much belly on it.
A rare air ball for Harvey, so he comes out in the first 35 seconds and turns it over and air balls. And they got to get him going. He's one of the best shooters on the team, and he's a very skilled offensive player. And they're going to need him in the second half. You wonder how much energy he's having to use on the defensive end to guard Greenlee. He's done a very good job so far on Greenlee. As Greenlee shoots a pull-up and misses, they dodged a bullet there as Niang corrals the rebound. Harvey with a beautiful find down low to San Diouf, and he finishes it with two hands. That's his third dunk of the day.
That was a great pass by DeAndre. Was able to draw the defender in with a fake pull-up and was able to find Hassan all by himself. Easy bucket.
Biggest lead for DME on this game, up 6. As Charlton drives to the basket. He gets called for a travel.
I've been really impressed today with DME's defense. They're not fouling. They're moving their feet, which is great to see.
This is a very long drought going back to the first half where the Rock has not scored. And they go back to their 1-2-2 pressure. And Asandio finds Clinette for three, and it rims around, is no good. Niang with offensive rebound. Harvey hesitates, shoots a pull-up. I think he should have shot the first one.
Absolutely. Still a good shot, but the other shot was wide open. He was all by himself.
Greenlee rims out on the baseline, and the drought continues as Niang corrals his fifth defensive rebound.
I like DME's ability to, they're probing, attacking, nothing there, pulling it back out and resetting, setting up the offense. Take advantage of their size.
Beautiful play, and Niang gets his second basket of the day.
The great thing about that play right there was the back screen set by Mayum. Majal pops out all by himself, no one within 5 feet of him. Great screen by Mayum.
Timeout, Coach Harden, as his team is, I would say this drought goes back about 8 minutes since they've scored a point. I'd say about 5 minutes left in the first half, 2.5 minutes in the second half, no points scored. And they've got some good looks of recent. Greenlee's had 2 pull-ups that he's missed that most likely he doesn't miss on a very often
Absolutely.
basis.
DME was able to dodge a couple bullets because those were wide open jump shots. The first play, Asan stayed low on the screen and let Greenlee basically pull up from about 12 feet all by himself, and lucky for DME, he missed it. But that was easily 2 makeable jump shots.
Good sign for DME. Niang hitting his second basket of the game, and DME's up 8, 15:32 left. I'm interested to see what Coach Harden does offensively, as he's got to find a way to stop the bleeding.
Absolutely.
This is a 16-0 run where the Rock was up 8 and now down 8. So,
you know, we know DME is going to face some adversity because the Rock is going to be able to go on a run, and we're going to have to see, be interested to see how DME handles that. Are they able to weather the storm and stay together as a team? The way they've been passing the ball this whole game has been fantastic. Borderline overpassing, but for the most part, making the extra pass and getting the open shot.
and Coach Harden goes to a little horns action with a flare screen to McCrav. His jumper's no good. Rebound, Niang.
Great box out by Majau.
And DME goes to their own horns action. The ball goes inside to Diouf, who goes to a right-hand finish as he puts the young kid in the rim in DME's first double-digit lead of the game as they're on a 18-0 run.
I like the patience by Hassan. Great patience, and was able to take his time and make that jump shot.
Another miss, this one by Charlton. And the rebound by Diouf, and frustration adding up as Lee fouls 90 feet from the basket. First team foul. And we'll see Capiti early on to try to neutralize the big fella Diouf, who is now in double figures with 10 points.
I would say Hassan's probably got 80 pounds on Capiti, at least.
On any of the bigs.
On any of the bigs. So continue to inside out, and great pass.
Mayum tries to posterize Capiti, can't do it. Rebound put back by Diouf, and a 20-0 run now by DME. Beautiful back cut, finds Capiti in the middle of the paint, and he can't finish. And Coach Harden's getting frustrated here.
Great look inside, continuing to bang it inside and work inside as close as they can. I really like this new look of DME, and they're wanting to.
Niang with the turnaround over the right shoulder.
What a.
And a 22-0 run here.
That is a high.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Capiti gets blocked by Niang at the rim, and a bailout there. The second bailout that she's made today. I wish I knew her name. One for the Rock and one for DME.
That was a great block, great hands, great active help. DME is all over the place.
Calderon and Vujokovic check in for Diouf and Niang, the two Senegalese bigs. And Kapiti stops the bleeding. The 22-0 run has been stopped as also the 10-minute drought has stopped for the Rock here, as they've scored for the first points in the last 10 minutes. Kapiti's second free throw is no good. And DME has a 13-point lead. Good defensive pressure here by the Rock as Harvey gets his pocket picked by Charlton, and he drives and gets to the basket, and he's fouled by Clinette.
That was a great foul by Vadim.
And Charlton will go to line for 2.
The great thing about that foul is he picked up DeAndre. No easy buckets. He knows they're struggling to make a basket, so he's going to make them earn it from the line. Unfortunately, with Hassan out and Majau going out, they probably combined for the last 10 points of that run, but they looked like they were a little bit gassed and needed a little bit of rest. So let's hope these new guys come in and they're able to keep the continuity going.
Charlton's first is up and no good. And the second one is, and the lead down to 12 here. The Rock picks up man. McCrav guarding Harvey. Harvey finds Clinette for 3 from the top of the key. No good. Rebound Greenlee. And he'll push the break. Greenlee knifes through the defense in a beautiful finish. And the Rock is showing a little life here as they've gotten to the basket, as you would assume that a team would do as they start to struggle to make outside jumpers.
I'd be interested if Coach Dragon calls a timeout, or he's going to let this play out just a little bit longer. I thought that last shot by Vadim was maybe a little bit quick, and now they're starting to force things. And Vadim tried to foul him, but was unsuccessful.
Greenlee's 3 in transition, no good. Kapiti's put back, no good, and Lee finishes off of that, and a 6-0 run by the Rock. And with 12:19 left, Dan Mondragon calls a 30-second timeout, and the lead is back down to 8 here. Well, it's been a game of runs,
yep.
And we knew that the Rock's too good not to counter back. I'm interested to see how long the two bigs stay out for DME, because it seems like those two, Niang and Diouf, have been the difference here in the second half. Absolutely,
you're 100% correct. I think Dragon might have let that one go just a play too long, but wanted to see if his guys could fight through it and pick themselves up. But got a little bit careless with the ball, and it may be fatigue hitting it in a little bit. And that's kind of what my point was with this pace that the Rock is pushing. Will DME be able to withstand it playing about 7 guys deep?
Well, you can't take quick shots, and then you can't turn the ball over. They play 4 guards, so they can play fast. Greenlee's a handful, and, they're going to score in bunches.
Yes.
So, this game's a long way from over. They've found a little life and got some easy baskets, and soon you'd assume that some of these outside jumpers for the Rock are going to start to fall, and this game's going to probably even
tighten up a little bit.
Tighten up even more than 8 points.
And with the interesting thing is the Rock now has the momentum with their active hands. Will DME be able to withstand it, and who's going to step up for DME and kill that pressure?
Calderon and Diouf play side pick and roll. He swings it out to Mayum, who kicks it out to Vujokovic. It finds Calderon's hands with 10 seconds on the shot clock, and the defensive intensity by the Rock has been very good. Beautiful right-hand hook off the glass by Vujokovic. His second basket of the game, and a much-needed basket to kind of stop the run of the Rock.
And I'll be honest, that was a much-needed basket for DME, because, to be honest, that was not the greatest of shots. Kind of shooting that layup going away from the basket, but a great finish, and now an offensive foul by the Rock, and the DME's got the ball back. with a 10-point lead. So minimal damage done. Hassan's doing his best to act like a soccer player.
Harvey to the basket, no good. Rebound Capiti, and Greenlee will push it the other way. He'll find Charlton outside, and he'll push off on Vujokovic, and the Serbian does his best soccer imitation, and an offensive foul on Charlton as he extended the arm, and that is the team's third personal.
What I need to see from DeAndre on that is it was a great drive. Unfortunately, didn't hit the rim, but you got to hustle back. And that's one thing that we've got to keep pushing is hustle back and get it back into the game. Don't be letting your teammates down.
Calderon with the ill-advised pass, trying to go inside to Diouf. And Greenlee comes off, stops and pops for two, and his jumper's no good. Offensive rebound by Gomez is good. And the lead back to 8.
I'm not sure how Gomez got in there with untouched, but him and Greenlee were basically fighting each other over that offensive rebound, which is never a good sign for DME.
Mayum to the cup, and it's good. Game high, 14 points for Mayum. Kids, bucket, no good. Long rebound corralled by Campbell, and a foul on Vujokovic, his first, team's third. And Clinette will check back in for him.
I'll tell you, Mike, one of the things that I see it all the time in sports or in basketball is the long three-point shot and someone contesting it, closing out, and then actually just turning around and watching and walking down the court, when in all actuality the best thing for them to do would be to box out. It's the easiest thing. They're standing right there, and a lot of times that guy ends up getting the rebound.
Greenlee can't get it to go. Kids fouled on the putback attempt. Foul on Clinette, his third, team's fourth.
Now, again, the Rock is really crashing the boards with 4 guys. If DME can get an easy rebound and have a guy leak out, probably going to be another easy basket. Just got to be able to grab the board.
Just over halfway through the second half. Kid at the line for a second free throw, and it's no good. Rebounded Diouf. And Niang's still out.
He is. He's got some foul trouble going on right now.
Clinette goes inside of Diouf. He gets fouled. No call. Late whistle.
Little late whistle.
And Diouf goes to the line here to attempt his 5th and 6th free throws of the game.
I think it was a great pass by Vadim and a great way to use his body to shield his man and get that ball in a position to shoot it and make an easy layup.
4th and 5th free throws of the game. 2 for 3 on the day so far. The 7-footer from Dakar, Senegal. His mentor, Mamadou Ninjai, former NBA player, former assistant coach at Coastal Carolina and at Georgia Tech. Also a 7-footer. 1 for 2 on the free throws. Lead back up to 10. Diouf with 13 on the game. I'm sorry, 15 on the game.
They got DME confused here. There's guys open everywhere.
Capiti called for his second illegal screen on the dribble weave. Coach Harden didn't like that one. I wasn't a fan of the call myself.
Well, he's not, Mike, not arguing the call. He's just saying that DME guards are putting their 2 hands on each guy, but he agreed that it was a block with the leg coming out, but doesn't like the fact that DME's having 2 hands on him.
Diouf inside on Kidd. Beautiful spin move on the baseline, and Diouf showing the offensive arsenal today with a game-high 17. McCrav answers back with a 3.
That might be one of their first jump shots they've hit in the second half. That was probably their first 3. But yeah, Hassan's spin move and ability to stay on balance was fantastic.
Capiti picks up another foul. His third.
I like that they're
Team 6.
really pushing it in there and just making sure that Hassan touches the ball at least once every single time. And Hassan is not forcing anything tonight, which is fantastic.
McCrav is really the only guy who's hit some outside jumpers. He has 2 threes on the day for the Rock. 5-second call by Harvey as no one could get open. And Greenlee's out right now, and the lead hasn't extended. It's a good sign for the Rock.
A lot of bouncing of the ball, not a lot of movement.
Good D by Mayum, and is deflected out of bounds. And here comes Greenlee.
And here comes Majau as well.
Gomez out, Calderon out. 8:36 left. DME in the bonus.
Put your hands up. No, the thing nowadays a lot of these kids are doing is they stand and no one puts their hands up when they play defense anymore.
Greenlee for 3, no good. He's had an off night shooting in a very quiet second half. Just 2 points in the second half, 9 on the game.
Yeah, he came out like a ball of fire. I was definitely impressed by him for the beginning of the game.
DME goes inside to Niang. He can't finish. And racing the other way is Campbell, who tries a Euro step and loses the ball. Loose ball picked up. Foul on Capita, his 4th. I'm sorry, I've been calling this Capiti the whole time. This has been Rosa Budko. Rosa Budko has 4 fouls. And Diouf will go to the line where he is 3 for 5 on the game and in the 1-1. It's no good. It's live. Why aren't they playing? It's live. Pick up the ball. Pick up the ball. Pick up the ball. It was a 1-1. No one, I've never seen that.
So that's a jump ball, and now the Rock gets the ball back.
Lack of awareness by everyone on the floor.
Coaches, players, everyone but you, Mike. At least someone's paying attention, right?
Yep. That's why I always give Dan Mondrag a little crap. Tell him he wasn't a point guard. 2 guard.
Exactly, Mike. You're a point guard. You see everything. You've got to be paying attention at all times.
I would have loved to. You know what I would have done? I would have crawled to that ball, act like I would have even took one dribble, act like I was about to, and snuck it on the glass.
You pretend like you're giving it back to the ref?
Giving it back to the ref?
Absolutely.
I've never seen that. My girls' game at the Potter's house, we there was a shot clock. The horn, this buzzer went off. But the problem was there was a possession change. So the ball went, we had the ball. They didn't reset it. Didn't score or turned it over in 10 seconds. Reset never happened. So now there's only about 20 seconds when they get the ball instead of 30. They go up, shoot a jumper at the horn, hits the rim. Ball bounces. They get the offensive rebound, and she just drops the ball. Everyone's just staring at the ball. My point guard, Mary McMillan, picks it up and starts racing off with it, and they don't give her a call at the rim. She should have got a call, but they didn't want to give us a cheap one on the road. 8-point game here by the Rock, or DME up on the Rock. Clinette thought about it, shoots a little floater off the glass, and it hits the side of the backboard. And a silly foul by Majau Niang, and now both teams in the 1-1.
Dean thought he was pushed on that one, but no call. And I think that foul was on Majau.
Yes. Both teams in the 1-1. Diouf out the game.
Still got 7 minutes and 16 seconds to play here.
A lot of ball
Plenty of time to play, exactly. You got David Ofori in the game now. Great steal by Mayum.
He Euros. Greenlee and one finish on Greenlee. And Mayum, who's been
his athleticism is just He can play with anybody with his athleticism, his strength. He's just a pure athlete.
A very good defensive player.
Absolutely. His energy, he's the guy you need.
Mayum with 16 points, looking for 17 to tie game high Diouf, as those two have combined it for almost 2/3 of the points for DME today. Free throws no good. Rebound to Charlton. DME leaving points at the free throw line. Charlton stops with a little floater off the glass, and it's good. Beautiful finish by the senior two-guard. And seems like the Rock just can't seem to get over the hump of 8 points, 7 or 8 points, but I'm sure that'll change sooner than later. Ball deflected out of bounds. Ball will stay with DME as McCrav got his hands on it. 17 on the shot clock. Harvey checks out. Diouf checks in.
Give DeAndre a break. Give him a quick breather.
Before the home stretch.
Absolutely.
Calderon in the corner. He looks inside to Diouf. He looks, surveys the floor, throws it out to Mayum and goes and sets a screen for him. 7 on the clock. Ofori back in the game. Finds Mayum. Great defensive possession. And a shot clock violation by the Rock. And with 6:21 left, they'll gain possession.
Now we got to see if DME is able to withstand this couple of possessions here with Majau and Vadim and DeAndre getting a little breather. Let's see if Hassan can anchor the team here.
Capiti back in the game. Sets a screen for Lee. Lee goes to the basket. Can't finish with the left hand, but draws the foul on Diouf.
Looks like a play they could go to again, Mike. Use that screen, isolate Hassan at the top, who's giving him probably 3 or 4 feet. As he comes out, there's no way he can recover, and then the defense has to rotate, and someone's going to be open.
Missed free throws by both teams are adding up as Harvey gets a quick minute breather, and he'll check in for Vujokovic. And
Mike, what do you think about Mayum with his ability and his strength and his jumping ability to be outside on the rebound in case this thing goes off?
In some cases, I think it matters. In this game, I don't think it does as much because they're small. If we can't box out on a free throw box out, we don't deserve to win. You know, so I don't think it was a big deal in this game. In some games, I agree with you. I think he should be in there. Diouf posting up. They can't get it to him. Mayum to the basket. His finish no good. And the Rock
is down.
Pushes it 5-on-4 with Mayum struggling to get in the game, get back in the play. Charlton for 3. It's good. This is the closest the Rock has been in a while, and Dan Mondragon calls a timeout with 5:30 left. It's a full timeout, and we have a 2-possession game.
Okay, let's see how the players react and how the coaches react. Are they going to go in there and kind of maybe panic a little bit? Or are they going to understand that it's just part of the run and we just got to answer back?
Well, you got to give the Rock some credit. They haven't had a very good shooting game, but they can play a grinded out style, and they've shown, even though they're undersized down there, they've been able to get a lot of stops here after the game, after that drought. When they finally got a few baskets to go, the momentum of the game, the defensive intensity, and the toughness has all shifted to that side of the floor. And
absolutely,
the Rock is now, you know, this is danger zone for DME. They need a bucket right here badly.
Absolutely, and I think it's a credit to the coach for the Rock that these kids don't give up. They don't put their heads down. They just continue to work hard and put the pressure on and make you make a play. They're not going to let you win.
Calderon goes inside to Diouf, and he's tied up, and the possession arrow will stay here, but that was great help side by Lee.
Mike, it's almost like they have a diamond in the middle there. Once that ball goes outside, they know they're going into Hassan, so they're going to put the backside and the front side are all dropping in. So if Hassan can get that and kick it out, DME's going to have to make a couple shots.
Luckily, DME gets the ball inbounds. Looked like that was headed for disasters. Clinette answers with the NBA three.
What a huge three. That was a gutsy shot and probably not a good shot. But he was able to have confidence and shoot it, which I like.
Well, you want confident shooters.
Absolutely.
And he's the one that, if a guy's confident, I want that guy shooting the ball. He's one of the best shooters in the gym.
Absolutely.
And that's including me talking, yours truly. McCrave with a nice pull-up.
Absolutely.
Going left. And the lead back down to 5. Clinette finds Mayum. Ball deflected. Greenlee guarding him. 15 on the clock, and it finds Harvey's hands. Diouf and Harvey will play some high pick and roll. 9 on the clock. Diouf tries to flop.
DeAndre's not looking at the clock at all.
Clinette finds the clock, misses the 3. Rebound Greenlee. He'll push the break. Numbers for the Rock. Charlton.
DeAndre again is slow to get back, and luckily he escaped that one.
Diouf with the rebound. Ofori and Niang will check in on the next dead ball. 52-47, just under 4 minutes left in the ball game. McCrav guarding Harvey, and DME's really not getting into any offense right now.
No.
Diouf finds Clinette, up fakes, pull-up jumper, good.
Wow.
Clinette,
I'm telling
Clinette, the junior forward out of France, has came up big with the last 5 points for DME to try to keep the Rock at bay here late in the game, and DME goes to a 2-3 zone.
I can't impress upon you enough how much better Vadim has played in these last couple games. He's just almost like a new player, completely new player.
Charlton finds Capiti on a beautiful lob and a 2-hand reverse, and Dan Mondragon's not happy about that. 3 minutes left here in the home stretch. DME up 5, both teams in the bonus. Calderon to the basket, no call.
No call.
Refs letting them play here late. Great kick ball by Clinette to stop the break. And Niang checks in for Diouf, Ofori in for Calderon. The refs have let them be very handsy on this side of the floor. You know, Coach Harden was complaining about this side. His guys have been doing the same thing, and the refs have swallowed their whistle here, as they're going to let the players dictate who wins the game, and I like it that way.
Absolutely, and as long as the refs are consistent on both sides, then there should be no complaints. You have to be able to adjust your style of play to what they're letting you do.
For sure. You push the envelope.
Absolutely.
Early on, you push the envelope. You see what the refs are calling. You figure it out. Okay, they're calling it tight. All right, I got to adjust. They're letting us play. Then you know what? I'm going to be a little more physical with my shoulders and my forearms, and both teams have been pretty good with that. And defensively, the Rock has been disruptive. They've got out of their trapping and played pretty much just straight-up man-to-man defense, and it's caused a lot of disruption. More disruption, I think, than the trapping did.
I was going to say, do you think the trapping was helping them, or do you think they were being hurt in that, or why did the coach leave that?
Well, I think at some point, you know, you're small, DME's big, they can pass over the top of you a little bit. I think this is what I would do defensively, get after you. And it's helped get them back in the game. They were down 12. Now it's a 5-point game. They got the ball. And DME's back in the 2-3 out of the timeout.
Interesting play there. Let's see if they can close out on these shooters. And I don't think they're going to be hurt too much in the middle.
Greenlee can't get it to go, gets his own rebound.
And again, DeAndre is standing watching and not boxing out. He's getting caught in the wrong spots.
McCrav, who's been the best shooter of the night for the Rock, and the Rock goes to that trap in 1-2-2 here. Clinette gets it, and he calls a timeout, and I don't know how many timeouts they have left. That is at least 3 they've used, maybe 4. And now
these are the plays, Mike, that don't show up in the stat sheets, or these are the plays that win you the game. Is the simple box out. the simple hustle plays. And right now, DME has kind of taken a couple plays off, and those are the plays that hurt you, and those are the ones that can cost you the game if you're not careful.
Well, how much is it Harvey? You know, Harvey's got to dig deep here. He's played pretty much the whole game.
Absolutely.
He's had a very tough guard to defend in Greenlee. Offensively, it's obviously taken a toll on him. He's not made many shots today. Can't let that affect him.
Right.
And that's a long rebound that he's got to get. He also let the 1-2-2 kind of disrupt him. He was tentative, and they throw the ball to Clinette. They have to use a timeout.
Right. And again, it's Mike, as you know, it's those hustle plays. It's those no matter how tired you are, can you fight through it? Can you battle with everything that you got because you know you're done in 2 minutes and 15 seconds? Can you do that?
DME goes to their flex play out of the timeout, and Niang cannot finish, but he's fouled by Capiti.
Great call by Daniel Mondragon, and great execution by DME. That should have been an and one easy, but maybe he got a little piece of that. I don't know.
Niang at the line. Quiet night offensively for him, but he's played a pretty solid game, and he misses the first.
Another, like you said, Mike, giving away free points here.
Niang trying to make it a 2-possession game.
It's a 10-point game if they make the free throws.
Niang makes the second, 55-51, just over 2 minutes left. DME matches up. Big possession here for both teams. Deflected by Mayum. Defensively, and Ofori races it the other way, and he turns the ball over, trying to get it to Mayum, and back the other way is Greenlee. 1:45 left.
That's a great play by Mayum, and we gave it right back.
Greenlee with a beautiful finish off the Euro, and it's a 2-point game. Mayum gets the ball stripped from him by Charlton, and DME luckily gets it back. Ofori finds Harvey. Offensive foul as Lee steps in and takes the charge, and Harvey is down. And it looks like he's okay. David Ofori will check out. Calderon checks in. I wish Ofori would have just pulled it out and run some clock and get something good.
Exactly, Mike. Sometimes in high school you don't quite use the head like you normally would as you get older, but that's the athleticism and the confidence sometimes is a curse.
For sure. And here we go. Charlton, Euro steps, left hand finish, no good. His own rebound. Finds McCrave in the corner for 3, no good. Capiti gets away with a push in the back. And a timeout by the Rock. 1:06 left, 28 on the shot clock.
Again, Mike, Mayum standing around watching the play happen and the rebound go up right in front of him, and he's not able to be in position to grab it. So again, if you're really watching and you see him standing there, you know that's kind of how that second shot comes about.
Interested to see what Coach Harden does here with
he's working the refs pretty good.
Yeah, he is.
So I think he's looking to get a call here, I think, Mike.
Yeah, that's obvious.
Which is good coaching. What's
he going to do here offensively? Team's in the bonus. DME in the double bonus. Really got lucky.
What are you thinking? What would you set up right here, Mike?
In a baseline out of bounds.
Right.
I'm going to try to get something out of I'm going to my best baseline out of bounds play. Whatever it is.
So in their situation with their personnel, what do you go with?
I'm probably trying to get a shot. I'm going to try to run something for my inbounder. I'm going to try to have a little misdirection and maybe bring him off a screen.
So you're looking for a 3-point shot?
I'm looking for McCrave here off a screen.
Really? Okay.
He's been their best scorer today, most efficient shooter. And then if nothing's there, we don't get anything off the baseline out of bounds, I'm putting the ball in Greenlee's hands.
Okay.
And I'm going to, with no D off in, I'm going to space the floor and let him attack. And there's really no true rim protector.
So you're not looking to go inside at all?
Well, they tried to run a little stagger screen for McCrave. They took it away, and the ball ends up in Greenlee's hands. So
okay.
And they find McCrave anyways.
Good call, Mike.
For three, no good. Rebound Lee, no good. Kid can't get it. Rebound Niang, his 8th defensive rebound of the game, and it's a tie-up. And the possession arrow will stay with the Rock.
Wow, okay. He did grab it and go straight down into the fetal position, and refs just didn't give him the call.
And here we go. DME needs it stopped desperately in a defensive rebound. 2-for-1 opportunity for the Rock here. Greenlee's shot is blocked at the rim. I said there wasn't a shot blocker, and Niang must have heard me. And Clinette, as both of them got it.
That was great help side defense. Majau came over out of nowhere and blocked that. Great defense.
This is a big 10 seconds right here. Rebound Calderon as they dodge a bullet as Charlton was wide open for a three. Now DME needs to get the ball past half court. They do. And now the Rock has to figure out if they're going to foul or play straight up. It looks like they'll play straight up. 6-second differential on the play clock and shot clock, or game clock and shot clock. 14. 5 on the shot clock. Mayum drives Kid. And an offensive foul.
I think that was probably a good call.
Good call, but he didn't take it in the chest. I know you don't have to, but it was a – he was there early. He was there, and he was stationary. It just was awkward.
It was. It was a great play.
2 big-time charges by the Rock, one by Lee, one by Charlton in the last 2 minutes. And with 8.3 seconds left, the Rock, who's had a very tough sledding last 24 minutes of basketball offensively, only scoring 27 points in the last 24 minutes. Need to find a way to get a basket here with 8.3 seconds left. They've had some great looks.
Absolutely.
Charlton's three right there, total miscommunication and meltdown by DME on defense, and Charlton couldn't make them pay.
I'd be interested to see, Mike, what do you think about that offensive play? Do you feel like it's okay to pull that and ISO it one-on-one to finish it, or do you try to stay in your set and keep the ball moving and get the open shot for the guy that ends up with the ball? I'm
putting the ball in Greenlee's hands, and it looks like they're going to deny him, so I'm flashing McCrave here. And the ball ends up in
Here we go.
Charlton. 5 on the clock. Harvey guarding him. He finds Kid. It's deflected. Ball goes out of bounds, and it'll be DME's ball with 0.8 seconds left. And
DME's up and happy, and
the Rock is packing it in. DME gets a much-earned win.
Great win for DME.
Much-needed win. Hard-earned win. And DME goes to 3-1 in the North, beating ACD, the Rock at home, and Inspire at home, and losing to Potter's House at Potter's House. That is the first loss for Coach Harden and his team in the SIAA at 2-1 now. And I can't imagine a game next time these two teams play that the score will be 55-53. Is up-tempo, as much trapping, pressing, lack of free throws, missed layups. And then obviously the Rock didn't have a great shooting game today.
I don't think they're going to shoot like that on a normal basis. They just have too many good shooters.
Yeah.
So I think DME was able to but that's why we play the game. You got to make the buckets, right?
Absolutely. Much earned win, and you got to give some credit to the coaching staff, Dan Mondragon and Coach Jordan Wilson, and the preparation.
Absolutely.
And defense they played on the Rock. It frustrated them, and then when you do get good looks, being frustrated sometimes you don't make those shots. So you got to give credit where credit's due. Very hard-earned win for DME. Harvey struggled tonight.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Keanu Calderon struggled tonight.
I did like Keanu's energy, though. I thought he brought the energy, which is always a positive when you're coming into the game to keep that level up.
Asan Diouf and Mayum.
And Vadim.
And Vadim Clinette, who had a huge 5 points when DME
huge,
seemed to struggle
yes,
to get a basket.
a huge NBA 3.
And a tough pull-up.
Yes.
Going right. So, you know, I'm very pleased to see the team progressing. Now,
let's be honest, Mike, that was a huge win for them and a huge win for the program.
Huge win. Because you could tell, even though they're up, just for the psyche, they still looked a little tentative, a little nervous, just not communicating, leaving Charlton wide open on a baseline out of bounds play, one pass shot.
Right.
And all you had to do was 40 seconds on the clock, 19 on the shot clock. If you just make them work, and maybe they do score, you get the last shot, you let them get a shot. It was a 3, wide open. He missed it. That was a huge play in the game.
Absolutely.
You know, but I'm interested to see where DME goes from here. I mean, they're now won 5 of their last 6.
Right.
And this is the best basketball they've been playing all year. And, you know, it's been a bumpy road, but tough schedules do that to you. And
absolutely. And I think you're right. It'd be interesting to see how they continue to build on this momentum. I think if you see them practice, it's a completely different ball club. The intensity, the camaraderie, they're all in it together now, and they're looking to try to make a name for themselves.
It's you know, for the seniors, it's kind of do or die time for them. You know, some of them haven't played as well as they'd like to, and you know, it's almost the end of the road. And so it's good to see Marko Vujokovic, who I thought played a pretty solid game.
He did.
As a senior, and you know, obviously Niang was very good defensively on the big block and defensive rebounding. Didn't shoot it great tonight, but didn't take a whole lot of shots either.
Made some timely buckets.
Yep. And Diouf was very good. And Mayum to me was the player of the game defensively. And so DME wins their 3rd conference game of the year, which is 3 more than they won last year. And it's a great feeling for Coach Mondrag. I'm very happy for him and all the time he's put in. And he's had a tough stretch last year, obviously, in the conference was very humbling for him. But a new team this year, and winning close games is a big thing. And they were able to get that done here at home. And they will play again here soon.
Yes. Hey, big games tomorrow, Mike. What are you looking for?
I'm looking for
IMG
J.J.
National.
Smith and Cameron Winter to
show out,
impose their will, and show IMG, you know, you're not coming into the DME Sports Complex and getting a win.
Absolutely.
It's a big game.
Protect the house.
Got to protect the house. And with Anthony Simmons, I want to see how good he is. I know people rave about him. He's as good as advertised. I'm not doubting that, but Cameron Winter is no pork chop.
Right. We love to see competition in this gym.
For sure. And so I'm excited to see that. Obviously, there's 2 other IMG DME games before then. That'll be good ones to tune into. But J.J. Smith, he's been gone over a month and a half. Only played 1 game. I didn't think he was that sharp in his first game back. Interested to see how he looks tomorrow.
Oh, and in his defense, he probably wasn't in the best shape because he had his wisdom teeth taken out and so wasn't able to really do much. But, you know, it's going to be a great competition tomorrow.
Absolutely. And if you're able to tune in tomorrow, 4 p.m. is the main event. I would encourage you to do so. It'll be me and Luke Morrow doing the game. Thanks, Sean, for helping me out tonight.
Absolutely. I think I'm one and done, Mike. I'm moving on to greener pastures.
Well, you were clutch today, my friend, because I'm still a work in progress. And doing it by myself is tough. You got better as the game went on, and I think the game got better. So appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And thanks to everybody working today to make this possible. I'm Michael Panaggio, and here with Sean Henry, and checking out from DME Sports Academy after a DME High School National win, 55-53 over the Rock School from Gainesville, Florida.